Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, as today we continue investigating current events from ancient history. But, that said, given what happened when we triggered this stone, I suspect that we have another major story event right around the corner. So before we push on, let's fall back and check out that cave we passed earlier. I am recording this with a pre-launch press build, so I should be slightly careful about playing events out of order. I don't want to accidentally lock myself out of any new content. And we've got shadows. Daunting back in Act 1, but barely a speed bump now. In fact, I bet Ember can clear these things all out in one go. Well, I was half right. We did wipe the shadows, but they were immediately replaced by mournful shadows, which I am not familiar with. Those might actually pose a valid threat. So let's go a bit heavier. That's Allbrig's second stage transformation. Wings, boosted stats. Still relatively immobile, though. It's only the full-on Griffin transformation that seems to enjoy enhanced mobility. Though it has also been pointed out to me that there is a specific mythic ability that grants unlimited wild shaping. So that's one I really should have picked up for him. You know, maybe maybe when we get to Mythic Tier 5. What are you, throwing shade? Nothing a little shadow boxing won't fix. Okay, so these things are just slightly tougher shadows, no big deal. I was actually told that this is apparently an Act 2 quest. That's why we're wiping it so easily. We're about 4, maybe 5 levels over the recommended level range. But in theory, that means we should actually have another quest triggering once we complete this one. The Act 3 Allbrig content, which I'm very much looking forward to. Oh. Waldif? Thank you, Waldif. Amulet of Mighty Fists. And a Frost Falchion +2. Some halfway decent vendor trash. Let's go chat up our ghost friend, see what he has to say. But yeah, based on the enemies we're seeing here, this was definitely supposed to be post-Leper's Smile, but pre-Dresden. Late Act 2. Hey, bud. Good news. I killed all your friends. I can go? Relief can be heard in the spirit's voice. Could it be that my work here is done? Thank you. I do so long to rest. Which nets us another Swarmbane clasp. Interesting. Is that the same? Yeah, that's exactly the same thing that we got on Ulbrig. Which again, really does imply that something about his quest is going to involve swarms. Because why else would they be loading us up with anti-swarm weaponry? See, the first one you could kind of justify because that would have been theoretically before Leper's Smile. And having an item like that would really help you during the Leper's Smile event. But Current Glen is very definitively placed after Leper's Smile. And yet they still apparently feel it important to give us these anti-swarm items. Oh, this is just a shortcut back to the exit. So I think we might actually be done here. Yeah, that's where we came in. So, no real resolution with the ghost dog or the giant apocalypse locust. Alright, we'll head back to Dresden, chat up Ulbrig, see if we can trigger whatever comes next. How? Ulbrig looks lost as he stares at his hands, protracting and retracting his sharp claws back and forth. Everyone dead. There's no one left. No one. I just can't wrap my head around it. I mean, I tried to tell you, man. You wouldn't have it. I'm really sorry, though. This must be tough. It's not something a man will believe until he sees it for himself. I still don't believe it. I keep wondering if I'm about to wake up and find out none of it was real. Well, tears won't win us the war. How can I help, War Chief? I was actually hoping you would have more for me, but I guess that's fine. We've got some other stuff we have to deal with around town anyway. Actually, you know what? I mentioned last time I wish he'd been around. I mentioned last time I wished he had been around for the Winter Sun stuff, but we have to go there anyway. Why don't we pop out to Winter Sun? We'll bring him along. I mean, it would have been better if we'd had him there for the whole thing, but maybe we'll trigger some special dialogue or events even after the fact. That'll also have the benefit of advancing the clock during travel time, so if we're lucky, by the time we get back, he'll have triggered whatever the next stage of his personal quest is. Something which should, hopefully be slightly more level appropriate. Actual Act 3 content, you know? Oh, and if we're headed back to Winter Sun, we should tag Aurilu back in. Yeah, so, Regil, you're on the sideline this time. Sorry, buddy. We'll be back. Not a big deal. I've just heard there's one or two Aurilu events that can trigger in and around Winter Sun. Might be too late for us to actually trigger them, though. We'll see. Oh, yes. We'll have to rest once we hit Winter Sun anyway. Might as well flex a little. We'll do some very basic buffs. And Ulbreg. Oh, look at that. They actually have an alternate portrait for him. That's really nice. Not bad. So wild shaping does help him with mobility and alpha striking. The downside, of course, being that when you wild shape, you kind of trivialize most of your worn gear. Thanks, how'd you even reach that? I swear, these takedowns are getting increasingly violent as we get further into the series.
Cover me, all right?
Alright guys, come on. Get out here. I don't have all day. I got stuff to do. People to kill. There we go. What was that, like 500 XP? Not too shabby. Oh, and we have a bunch of special Griffin moves here. Interesting. I'll have to study those a little later. But for now, we'll tuck them over on the sidebar for when we're in Griffin form. Interesting to see that they finally worked grappling into the game. Though I sincerely doubt they'll go full bore on grappling. Grappling was always one of the weirder mechanics in 3rd edition, and by extension Pathfinder. Overly complicated, and if you really went bananas with it, kinda broken. I remember once upon a time, back when I still used to run tabletop demos, there was a boss encounter that went completely off the rails because the players were supposed to face down with a young adult dragon, but one player running an over-the-top grappling build basically just pinned it down for like 10, 12 rounds straight until the dragon was like, alright, you know what, I give up. I guess we can talk. So I had to make up an entire elaborate backstory and diplomacy scene for what was supposed to be an epic 30-minute combat finale. Which I suppose long-term was probably slightly more memorable than just killing another monster. Though perhaps not as memorable as the time someone inadvertently seduced a dragon, but honestly, I feel like that's not too out of the ordinary these days. But I'm really not going to get into that. Because it's weird.
Why does your demonic heritage hold so much appeal for you? Isn't it enough to be mortal? To live among mortals? To be ordinary?
When you get to know people a little better, you'll see where I'm coming from. You've got it in your head that being mortal's some great thing, but it ain't all it's cracked up to be.
Alright, we are fully rested and fully buffed. Let's go claim our wayward warrior. Claim? Miamir? Teacher! Teacher! What's happened to you? Claim gingerly touches Miamir's shoulder. You're nothing but skin and bone. You can barely stand upright. Come with me. You need to rest. This is what happens when sorcerers try to grasp the wisdom of druids. Ancient runes know who they're written for, and know how to punish those who attempt sacrilege. Rest. Seeds rest in the earth. Bones rest betwixt roots. Covered in snow, we find rest in earth. Until spring. Until spring. Teacher. Claim calls to Trimmier with pain in his voice. Do you remember me? It's me, Claim, your student. I've come to bring you home. Claim. A spark of recognition flares in Trimmir's crazed eyes. Claim, what are you doing here? This place is dangerous. Go. Bone like bark, like rock, like oath. A barely discernible whisper touches your mind. It sounds like the rustling of sand on ice. She belongs to this place, mortal. She will stay here. You will not save her. Leave her or kill her, and go on your way. Or else you will stay here in her place. Hey, who's there? Come out and face me, you coward! You desire to know who I am? I will allow it. But this knowledge is not without cost. Oh, no. A terrible figure, a petrified skeleton with branching horns, seems to grow out of the ground in front of you. Mortals, be gone! Be gone from this place! She is mine. Leave her to me. Oh yeah? And just who are you supposed to be, bonehead? Siabraesive. The sound of the word feels like ice in your ears, like you've just laid your head on a frozen tombstone. I was a druid in old Sarkaris long, long ago, before the surviving magic users brought disaster upon themselves. While this land was alive, I protected it with my life. When the time came for it to die, I followed it into death. The smooth, gleaming white stones in the skull's eye sockets are fixed on the petrified tree. Our forests held secrets, ancient sacred truths. The demons brought fire. Flesh and wood burn as well as each other. But stone does not burn. We turned our trees to stone and stood next to them as stone guardians. Brother, what's become of you? Ulbrich quietly speaks a few words in a secret language known only to druids. The Siabraesive responds in the same secret language. You are no brother of mine. Leave, or perish along with the rest. Why are you doing this? What did Trimmier do to deserve this? The insolent, foolish mortal came here seeking the secrets of the old forests. Well, I allowed her to glimpse them, but these secrets come at a cost. To preserve them, to escape the fire into the embrace of stone, we paid with our lives and souls. It is only fair that she should pay the same price. It was very bad and painful for you. Now you're sharing your pain with her. And with us. But it won't make you feel any better. Even if we all died right here, it wouldn't make you any more alive. Let her go, please. She is not to blame for what happened to you. Do not insult us with your foolish pity, mortal. We have no need of it. How can you insult someone with pity? Pity comes from a place of good. Look, I know what happened to you guys sucks, I get that. But we're basically fighting on the same side. We should be helping each other. We don't have to be friends, but we shouldn't be tearing each other apart. On the same side? Of what? The front, where you foreign invaders battle with invaders from the abyss for our mutilated lands? No, mortal. I may despise you less than I do the demons. But I am on one side, You are on another. Look, man, I am really trying here, but I can only hold Kaz back for so long. There's got to be some way we can work this out. Name your price. She partook of our secrets. There is but one price for them. The life and soul of all who wish to possess them. I will accept no other payment. Alright, I tried. Y'all saw it, I tried. Come on, Kaz. We've got some killing to do. Go on, then. Try. Well, fine, then. Maybe I will. But because I want to, not because you told me to. Also, crap, I didn't prep for cold damage. Alright, haste. We've got to make this quick, because otherwise he will wreck us. Thank you, Aru. And now for the Deadwood. Hey, look at that. Got about a third off. That's not a bad deal. Of course, that also took off about half of Kaz's health, which is less ideal. Darren, bring the heat. Shoot. Right. Oh my goodness. Is someone dead? Blaine, you all right there? I'm sure he's fine. Oh, good. That happened. Die, please.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
I notice you're not dead yet.
I will resist.
Oh, there we go. All right. Land's dark moans, wind's gray songs. Muttering something indecipherable, Miamir drops to her knees before the Siabraesive dust, grasping handfuls of it and pouring it from one hand to the other. Teacher, wake up. I'm begging you. Remember who you are. The woman becomes absorbed in her own musings, and then raises her slightly clearer gaze to claim. I am Miamir. I was looking for the knowledge of the Druids so that I could... I think there was a war. Yes, we were at war with someone. And this knowledge, these secrets, briars and thistles, bones and bark, this knowledge... She looks away. I discovered something important, but I can't remember what. Claim, my best student. I will tell you what I learned. Later, when I remember it. I need to rest, but later, I will tell you. I will share. I will reveal. Claim? Thoughts? The nasty rumors were true. She really did abandon her post willingly. I'm sure she had noble intentions, but none of it matters now. Look at her, Commander. She's barely alive, and she doesn't know who she is. Send her for treatment. When she regains her sanity, she can answer for her sins. Yeah, that sounds good to me. I mean, I'm certainly not going to punish someone who doesn't even understand why they're being punished. We'll get her taken care of. Thank you, Commander. I hope she will regain her sanity. Yeah, likewise. And who knows, maybe whatever she came out here for was worth all this. But somehow I doubt it. How you holding up there, Ulbrig? We're gonna have to do some damage control. But first... +5 hide. That's a pretty big step up for our resident shifter. And Shapeshifter's Helm. +2 bonus to AC while wild-shaped. And grants 1 extra wild shape per day. Oh, yeah, I had a placeholder on Ulbrig anyway. Well, that is certainly a look. I mean, it's about the perks, not the
never fun.
Not the presentation, you know?
All they took from me, I'll take back.
Ask nicely.
Alright, it's going to take a second to get all this straightened out. Let's hit the pause button real quick. I'll get our guys topped off. Then we'll hit Winter Sun proper. The blind carver tosses her head back at your approach. Greetings and well met. Gizmera, long time no see. How's life in Winter Sun these days? Like a gravely ill patient that is just starting to turn the tide against the disease. It wasn't easy for us to accept the truth, and it was even harder to learn how to survive without the Lady of the Sun's protection. But the spirit of Sarkorian warriors is tougher than any hardship. We will get through it. Gizmera's voice sounds unusually firm. The clan elected me to take Marhavok's place, a blind cripple. But I suppose I was the only one to see the truth behind the lie. The people trust me, and I will do everything I can to deserve their trust. I mean, considering who else we had to work with, it does feel like you're the best choice. And you know, your people could really help out with the ongoing war efforts. We need every bow and spear we can get, not to mention the hands to wield them. But I will talk to my people. I trusted you, Commander, and I think I was right to do so. You are the one who will throw off the demon's yoke once and for all. So it's better for us to take a risk and put all our efforts behind the fight, rather than sit back and wait for nobody knows what. Okay, well, good talk. I was really kind of hoping Ulbrig would weigh in here somewhere, but see you around, Gizmera. May your days be bright, and your nights peaceful. Turning her unseeing face towards Arushale, the carver stops the demon with a gentle gesture. Before you leave, would you mind if I carved your statue, my dear? The succubus blushes. I don't think that's a good idea. If the wood never lies to you, the result will be quite repugnant. The carver's face breaks into a placid smile. I doubt it, my dear. My intuition tells me the complete opposite, in fact. With your permission, I would like to try. While you're at it, I wouldn't mind a statue and all. Even just a little one. The carver seems to listen to her own thoughts for a moment, and then chuckles mischievously. Oh, I think not. I can tell by your voice that you won't like my work. You'll be too embarrassed to show it in decent company. Hey, so no Ulbrig interaction, but we got some Maruchale and a little bonus wall gif. Might as well check her wares while we're here. Yeah, nothing of particular note. You know what? We will take those boots. I don't know if we'll actually use them, but it is nice to have options. A shame we can't boot up the Pet Pals, because that would be a nice fit for Kaz. Or helpful. Alright, we're pretty much done here. We'll head back to Dresden. Hold up, this is new. We've got a Stone of Voices. In ancient times, Sarkorian settlements used stones like this to send messages to each other. Alas, this stone has been broken beyond repair. That's a really nice touch. They retroactively placed a broken Stone of Voices just to better tie into the new content that they added with current Glen. I mean, obviously, it would have been preferable if they had planned ahead and already had this in place as a hint for future DLC. But yeah, it's still a nice touch. I wholeheartedly approve. Since we're basically done here, I think we can take this now. That's mine. So long, suckers! Oh, we do have one more stop before we head back to Dresden. I would like to pay the Hell Knights a visit. Is what I'd say if we could actually get in there without Regil, but we can't, so change of plans. We've got more booze and cheers. We've also got more recruits, but I'll take care of that later. And let's tag Regil back in. You just hang tight, Ulbrig. Maybe come to terms with your brief bout of death. We'll be back. More events? No. Oh, it's because we have to assign our new bastion. Right, okay. Well, normally I'd take care of that off screen, but obviously we need to be able to tell when actual new events come in, so where do we want this thing? Let's do it over here. The camp on the ferry. Once we hit Act 5, I think that whole new area will open up. So it would definitely be useful to have a teleportal set up so we can get there quickly. I'll take care of the actual building layout off screen. It'll just be the usual stuff. A full set of recruitment buildings, one upgrade station, a teleport circle. Nothing really worth highlighting. And yet more events. Ah, right, gotcha. The Attractive Impulse, which we are turning into a Metamagic Rod. We'll have to wait a day before we can actually start that. The Touched One. An odd and somewhat touched priest has sought an audience. In a dream, he saw himself eradicate the world wound, and he is convinced that it was an omen. With the help of the relics he borrowed from his temple, he was able to make the arduous journey to Dresden, and now he is asking the commander to keep them safe while he is away on his quest to fight evil. Which sounds like an awful idea, but if we let him do it, we will get a magic mace that we'll never use. So really, just 6,000 gold. If we talk him down, we'll get extra finances, albeit a trivial amount. But if we convince him to join us, all of our generals gain a feat that boosts their infirmary size, which hands down beats out these other two options. Arushale was able to convince the priest that he had interpreted the dream wrong. His mission was indeed to travel to the world wound and fight it, but he read the metaphor of closing the world wound too literally. His true purpose was not to bear this burden solely on his own shoulders, but to join the Crusade and do his part in achieving victory over the demons by, for example, serving as a healer. Huzzah! Everybody wins! Man, we are building up quite a stack of bonuses there. You love to see it. Fear of the surface. A group of mongrels has arrived in Dresden. The hunters may have been brave in their underground caves, but they have lost their nerve on the surface. They're scared of the sunlight, get disoriented by open spaces, and feel perturbed by unfamiliar opponents. Lan asks the commander to be understanding regarding his comrades' anxiety, and not to throw them straight into the thick of things. Yeah, that sounds fair to me, especially since we've already got a stack of mongrel sharpshooters going. We'll just keep stacking. The commander's decision raised the mongrel's spirits. Once they learned that they would not have to charge into battle in the front ranks, the underground crusaders began to accustom themselves to their unfamiliar surroundings. We're still waiting on the final Attractive Impulse project. Oh, and a full-on fortress expansion. That is fantastic. We need to get the other bastion done first. But then we'll do the fortress. That should hopefully be enough to max out our logistics. Paralictor Aminos Renth greets you with a nod. Knight Commander? Hey, just thought you might want to know. The extirpators? Worm food. But don't worry about it, I took care of it. They have been avenged. Still super dead, though. I see. Thank you for the information. We shall commit it to paper. We were going to organize search parties, so it seems like you've saved us a considerable sum of money. I think it would be fair if we gave you part of it as a reward. Super duper. Let's see what else you got. Oh man. I really wish we had a character who used warhammers. That is such a nice weapon. Nothing else is really jumping out at me, so off we go. Pleasure doing business, Renth. And with that, we just head back to Dresden, see if we can kickstart Ulbrig's thing. Oh, you know what? We should probably knock these guys out while I'm looking at them. One less thing to worry about next time. Succubi out. Maybe I should transfer the mongrels to our main army. We have been having a hard time stacking our sorcerers. The mongrelmen get free reinforcement events. I'll give that some thought. And we're good. Not bad. Pretty fly for a shy guy. Oh, come on. I've got places to be. But fine, I'll murder you. Hey, guys.
Retreat is not an option.
Distractions on deck.
Did you just die already?
Nice. Hey now, that's not very helpful. My goodness. Like half his head came off. And that man's entire head came off. See, the full decap I get, that's the next best thing. But that other one, though, that was just off the top of his head. I'm not sorry. I've been doing this for 108 episodes. You know what you signed up for. You were right when you said the starry sky was mesmerizing. It's like you're seeing myriad worlds at once. If only somebody had found a way to sail across the night sky in a boat, from one star to another. Yeah, if only. We'd be playing an entirely different game. And check the table. At the very least, we should have the new relic project. Beers up. There's our fatal attraction. Oh boy, look at this mess. Alright folks, we're just hitting time anyway, so I feel like this is a good place to call it. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take care of this, and our bastion, and the usual between-episode bookkeeping. And we'll pick up here next time, as we advance the clock a little bit more, and hopefully whatever else Ulbrig's got for us will pop. Because I would very much like to see it. And, you know, even if it doesn't, we've still got some other things around town we can take care of. Reaneath, follow up with Claim, stuff like that. Either way, see you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Dragon Matrix 7, Mathew Smith, Revenant, Alois, Drakiith, Theory V23, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
When you get to know people a little better, you'll see where I'm coming from. But it ain't all it's cracked up to be.